Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator, actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar, and I'm trying to learn the directions of this game. Okay, can I use control? Okay, that's another game that sucks because it doesn't have controller support. By the way, I feel like shit. I don't know why. I just took a decent amount of Advil. Hopefully that'll make this stop hurting. Don't get me wrong, my health in general tends to fucking hate me. And my head tends to hurt and I tend to feel like shit half the time anyway. But since when does a migraine feel this fucking bad? No matter what position I'm in pain. If I bend forward, or make my head go below even my shoulders, let alone my waist, or move too quickly, dear fucking God, it's unbearable. And if I cough, it feels like my head is in a vice. I don't know if I have a mix like sinus infections, migraines, dehydration. I'm drinking some water, maybe that helps. Maybe teeth infections, I don't fucking know. All I know is that everything everywhere hurts. Most of all, my head. Let's say my temple, the front of my head, the rest of my skull, the sides, the back of my head, like basically the everything everywhere, just deciding which. And like I said, I think it might be a sinus issue just because like my face, like my cheekbones feel like shit. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. Just like my forehead, my temples, like my cheekbones. It feels like a fucking muscle strain or something. It's not muscles, it's, like I said, it's just pressure everywhere. Actually, and I know the doctor's office would be closed. It's 3 fucking a.m. on a Saturday night. But I wanted to at least leave a voicemail, you know, to schedule an appointment or something. That being said, I noticed about a week ago or so, like, things in the distance. I mean, granted, I can still see just fine to drive. It's just, I've just noticed, like, say if work has a video meeting and I'm sitting like 20, because like sometimes they'll like once a week, sometimes for usually in November, but usually once a month for like 10 minutes they'll have a little video meeting where they talk about quality of stuff and stuff that's going on with the building. It's just the text on the screen, so granted I'm sitting like 20 feet from the screen. It's just like a normal size television sort of thing. It's like, what, maybe 20 inches across? 25, I don't know. I haven't fucking measured it. Main point is just, remember a year ago being able to see the words on that perfectly clearly. And now they're fucking blurry. Then in general, the rest of vision seems to be fine. It's just, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And granted, I know I wouldn't be able to schedule an appointment right this moment. Nobody would be fucking there, but I wanted to at least leave a voicemail for the doctors saying, hey, I'd like to schedule an appointment. Like, this stuff's going on, I don't know what the fuck's happening. So, at least from a little research I've done, it's just like, it's either an infection somewhere, maybe it's just a really bad migraine, maybe something to do with my teeth being infected from that one job where I was constantly vomiting all the time. Yes, like I said, I do have issues with my current job, but at least it pays my bills, so I at least appreciate that. At least I've had a few days off, so it really helped out. It's just, I don't know. Started like maybe half an hour ago or so. And I said, took a decent amount of Advil, maybe that'll help. It's just, I feel like shit. Drink some of this water. Where are you? Got a little bit of Pepsi over there too. I don't fucking know. Like I said, I would say maybe it's like a mix of just normal infection mixed with illness, mixed with migraines, mixed with dental infections, mixed with sinus infection, mixed with my body fucking hates me. Granted, I know I shouldn't complain. There are people that are far worse issues. This is just, oh no, I have a migraine, possibly some dental/sinus infections. But I want to bitch about it. I feel like shit. But I don't have anybody to talk to about it aside from just the internet. Because a mix of antisocial and I just... this computer screen's who I have to talk to about, hey, I feel really shitty. I feel horrible, and I feel exhausted. And my head and my whole face and everything fucking hurts. And if I move too quickly, or if I bend forward, it's unbearable. And if I cough, it feels like my head's in a fucking vice. Heck. Would say for the most part. The other thing I looked up that might possibly shouldn't be, like, apparently sort of feelings linked with high blood pressure issues, but in general, I have perfect blood pressure. Every time I've got it checked at a doctor, it's been fine. With the exception of either just extreme stress, which tends to make it go up, or just... heck, I know. I went to have that bladder surgery, they checked my blood pressure. Before going into that, my blood pressure just goes completely fucking skyrocketed. Just because I was very anxious. I was a bit of scared and worried and sad and upset. And of course the whole recovery I had after that was, like I said, I shouldn't complain about it, but I'm not going to talk too much in detail about it because I already posted that in the community post area, and I don't want to make people vomit and puke. It's just, I was miserable and I was in a lot of pain. And granted, the way I feel right now is nothing compared to what I felt then. And at least it's a different part of the body. Then again, there was still soreness and pain everywhere. Granted, there was... at least with that being bladder surgery, it was central abdomen. You know, the rest of me, that was the main focus of my discomfort. But right now, like, yeah, my head just... everyone's like, is this supposed to be a gameplay video? Like, maybe. I don't know. It's mainly just me bitching. It's a me bitching video. It's like, hey, my head hurts a lot. I want to complain about it, but I have no one to talk to. Then again, that's probably for the best. You wouldn't want to fucking hear it. It's like, oh, it's Lunar, what's up? My head hurts. It's like, great. So, granted, I'll have to go back to work Sunday night. I'll probably be straight back to the shit tons of overtime, doing 10 and 12 hour shifts, and working extra days that are probably also going to be extra hours. But hey, that's 4 weeks of that bullshit, then I'll have a week off for Christmas. You get paid for like 3 days of it. Which that's not bad, it's better than most places. Like I said, I do have complaints with my job, but it feels like they're trying to force everyone to quit just with the way. So they already increased the quotas past what everyone can handle. And it's like, oh, made the quotas even higher. Great. I'll say this, I'll keep doing what I've always done. Do my best, work as hard, as fast as I can. But I feel like it's just a matter of time before either they just force a situation where everyone has to quit, or they just fire me because they made some situation where I fuck up in some way. Granted, I don't need them to make a shit tons of overtime or shitty conditions for me to fuck up. I'm a fuck up anyway. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's me just trying to live my life or do a job or just try to do anything, or even a hobby. I'm a fuck up at everything. I'm a failure and I really don't have any value as a person. Heck, I died. Does anyone actually fucking care? Well, I describe myself as a Dragon Ball Z Batara fusion of a lot of things. Primarily, I usually go to say I'm a fusion of Astolfo and Jack Hanma. Neither one of them lived to old age, did they? Like I said, I know I'm bitching, perhaps making a much bigger issue of this. Maybe 1,000 times. Like I'm describing this as 1,000 times bigger issue than what it actually is. It's just Lunar D8 has a headache. And some slight depression, I guess. Also, apparently I'm such a big loser that the only person I have to talk to about any of this is my computer screen. I just feel like shit. And it's not like I'm really good at anything or gifted or skilled at anything. I'm ugly as shit. I'm fat, I'm fucking morbidly obese. I can't seem to build any muscle. I don't have a job that would actually... I have a job that I don't like, but I do because I need it to live. But isn't that everyone? Like, isn't everyone the same as me at that point? I mean, I would say anybody comes across this video, you're probably the same boat as me. You know? You're lonely, you're depressed, and you are overworked at a job you need to live. Because like I said, on the one hand, I kind of hate my job. On the other hand, I needed to pay the rent and everything else, so if I didn't have my job, I don't know how I'd pay my rent. Heck, I'd probably be like, hey, this is Lunar D8. I'm just gonna stop making videos because I can't afford internet anymore or anything. Though, like I said, that's another thing I'm making into a bigger issue than it is. My job fucking fires me, because here's the thing. One, I already feel like I'm a fuck up at everything, and I feel like no matter what, even under good conditions, I'm going to fuck up and do a bad job. And they're like, oh, you fucked up on this, and we're going to fire you for it. I'm like, okay. Though I'll say this, if they do fire me, I'm just going to give them a double thumbs up like the fucking Fozzie guy. Foz, whatever, the guy from the old 50s show. The yay! Then Peter Griffin made references to him in the Family Guy thing. Not that I ever watch that show too much, I'm just saying that's the general, maybe double peace signs. Basically, I'm just saying I wouldn't be like all yelly and angry at people or flipping people off. I would just like give people thumbs up and peace signs, like, okay, cool, I figured this is gonna happen. Everyone have a good day. I'm leaving. I'm gonna clock out and maybe like strip naked and put my clothes in the HR department since you're supposed to return your uniforms or quit or get fired. Or else they dock it from your fucking pay for your last paychecks. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's not a bad job and it pays okay. It's just I don't like it. And it's a shitty job. Everyone's like, but you said it's not a bad job. I mean, who out there actually likes their job? It's just, one, I have issues with the job itself, plus it's just, I have physical and mental issues that kind of are getting worse. Heck, like I said, it's probably just some sort of infection in my teeth and sinuses and stuff, combining with a fucking migraine. And migraines suck to begin with. It's just, I guess, adding additional things to, like, at this point I'm basically having a combination of like 4 different headaches. Headaches from, I guess, dehydration, high blood pressure issues, which I shouldn't have, as well as just headaches of stress, normal migraines, sinus migraines, tooth infection migraines, and of course, like, everyone's like, oh, why are your teeth infected? Because a few of my back teeth are still busted. Granted, I've had quite a few of my back teeth removed. It's funny, before I worked at the job I'm at currently, which I've been here for like, what, 6, 7, 8 years? I don't fucking remember anymore. Been doing this job for a long ass fucking time. And I feel like I do a good job, and I feel like I'm not incompetent. I feel like one of the better employees they have, and like I said, I've always done my best. I've always worked as hard as I could. I've always worked as fast as I can. It's kind of funny, I'm constantly like screaming in my head the most horrible things at myself. And yet, I'm constantly trying to be the most polite, nice person people work with, and people in general in life. It's funny, I'm always trying to be nice and polite to everybody else. But in my head, I'm always screaming the most horrible things at myself. And it's just... it just works, but like I said, at least it was nice to have a few days off for Thanksgiving. And that was nice. I like to just be able to relax, prefer to just chill. That's just... for the most part, it was being okay couple days off or so. But yeah, half hour or so before I started this video, it's just all of a sudden, I mean, in general, my body hurts everywhere, but it's my head most of all. Like, I've had migraines before, but this fucking sucks. This hurts so fucking bad. When does the Advil fucking kick in? Like I said, gone on my job, like, and I joke about what I do. I work for Skynet. I build T-800s, and honestly, that's not actually that far off from accurately describing what I actually do or what I work for. But honestly, I feel like my job's gonna fire me at any day. I feel like they're trying to force everyone to quit. Like, they just keep constantly raising the quotas between them and the overtime and just. And it's not just the massive amount of hours, it's that every moment I'm there, I'm constantly moving, doing standing manual labor. And also, not only am I constantly moving and bending my knees and my arms and my back, it's that also I'm supposed to be inspecting everything I make too, so I'm supposed to be looking for all of these defects and issues, making sure that everything works, and looking at things on a screen, and going through it quickly and looking for small differences. And it's just like, I feel like under normal circumstances, I'm going to fuck up. And yet in this situation, it's just, I'm being pushed so fucking hard, moving so fast, and most time when I'm there, no matter how much caffeine and Tylenol I force down my throat, I feel like I'm about to pass out. I can't focus, I feel like I'm in a fog. And then of course I got, you know, my body kind of fucking hurts. Everything's sore. I feel like I can't move fast enough no matter what I do. And I feel like it's just, like, I can't think when I'm doing my job. It's not like, oh, I'm too focused on my job. It's that I just feel like everything's just like, I feel like Lunar.exe is experiencing a fucking error. Like I'm about to have a fucking crash, system shut down, cascade error, flow back, whatever techno babble bullshit. We're gonna get like fucking, was Charles Barkley? No. Lieutenant Barkley. Star Trek Next Generation's coming talking about Like, oh, this with the warp drive, something or other. I'm like, don't know what the fuck's going on. Main point I'm just trying to say is, while I am irritated with my job, I've worked much worse jobs. The job I was working at for about 3 years or so before my current job was a contract company job. Heck, it was in a big warehouse with a grocery store, and usually did that about 6 days a week. I also helped unload some trucks too on the side to get some extra money while I was doing that. But my main job was a contract thing. Out of those 6 days, 3 of those days I'd be working in 70-degree weather on the inside where it was dry stuff. The other 3 days I'd be in a giant cooler the size of like a fucking neighborhood. And most of it was about 36 degrees. I'd say about 1/3 of it was about 38 degrees. Maybe in the 40s, I don't know. Then the other third was a mix of being in the low 30s or the high 20s. And then the other third was like a giant ass fucking freezer. 95% of it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And then there was this one 5% area where like a bunch of ice cream and stuff was kept. It was -6 degrees Fahrenheit. You couldn't spend more than half an hour in there, even with all the fucking layers of clothing you could have on, before you started being numb everywhere. But basically, the contract company I was working with they got taken over by a much bigger company that does the same thing, but for like hundreds, if not thousands, of places. They offered to keep us on, but at a lower wage to train their people. So obviously no. Before that, I spent a couple years working electrostatic. Basically, it's a mix of powdered metal and powdered paint. They got pumped full of air. So it was. You ever remember those Hershey bars that had like the aerosolized little pockets in it? That was kind of neat. It was different. I mean, I don't know if it was really you're getting less chocolate then, but it was an interesting thing to try, and I thought it tasted good. And I like Hershey chocolate bars. I mean, granted, I know a lot of people in Europe feel like Hershey's is kind of garbage because it tastes. It's like, oh, that's not real chocolate. But I'm like, I like both. I like both the European chocolates and the Hershey chocolate. And sometimes I think I feel like I prefer the Hershey's chocolate, which, again, people say like, oh, that's not real chocolate. I'm like, I don't know, I like it. Maybe it's just what I'm used to, but I like the taste. Maybe it's just more sugar or something. I don't know. Then again, I am a fucking fat ass. I mean, but then again, you want to take my word for it. I mean, hell, I made a video about a year ago asking what workouts I should do in the gym to try to improve. Though I'll say this, I look exactly the same. Haven't made any improvement. It's just... Then most of the time I'm like so fucking overworked at my job, I can't even get to the gym or anything because I need to do more at my job. At least this thing isn't physically exhausting. So regardless how shitty I feel, I can record a video. But that still reminds me, I was gonna say that I was going into the whole surgery thing. I was like, I'm gonna record. I mean, granted, there was a time I had a cystoscopy. That was a quick little thing where I was maybe sedated 15-20 minutes, and I recorded a little cover of Black Sabbath. That was like a couple years ago or something, I'm not sure. It was also around the Christmas time, and I think it was like a couple years ago. But yeah, like I said, you don't want to take my word for it that I'm extremely fucking fat. and out of shape, you can just look at me in the live stream videos. At least you don't have to see, my face or anything. Otherwise, you might need a barf bag or something. But hey, I don't know what the fucking conversation's about. They go saying something about how I'm fucking worthless. I mean, heck, I don't make a lot of money. Don't own my own home. I'm never going to. I rent an apartment. That being said, I like where I live. I mean, I like my apartment. Really, the rent could be a little cheaper, but then again, I know a lot of people would pay a lot more for their rent. And really, I have other bills and debts and things that the government takes out of my check. But again, that's part of life. Heck, some of those things I pay money on, I'm actually glad to be paying money on. What can I say? There are things in life that are very important to me. I'm trying not to be specific on that, just because I just don't really want this video to be about that. I just want to talk about the same narcissistic, entitled bullshit that I always talk about, where I'm like, hey, I want someone to actually listen to me or something, or care or some shit. Like again, like if I ever make a VTuber model, like who the fuck would want to listen? Oh, who wants to listen to a lonely, depressed VTuber who's overworked at a job that he needs to live, doesn't do anything right, it's a complete failure at everything, and is just constantly in a feeling of just teeter-totter of emotions where I'm just, hi, I'm Lunar D8, I'm fucking unstable. But at least I'm not a threat to anyone. Hell, I've never hurt anybody in my life. Except in self-defense. So unless it was defending myself or defending someone else, I've never hurt anybody. I'm more so the kind of person that if I was rich, what would I do? Travel the world, learn foreign languages, play guitar, play games, take naps. Everyone's like, oh, Lunar Date suddenly was a millionaire and he still hardly left his house. Hell, I probably wouldn't even move to a different place. I'd probably still live in this apartment. I would just be like, hey, at least now I don't have to worry about not being able to pay rent at some point in the future. But I mean, all this is stuff you guys worry about too, right? You're at a job that... And again, I appreciate my job. I work worse jobs. It's just... I do my best at my job. I try my hardest. I work as fast as I can. And I feel like I can't succeed. No matter how hard I try, I won't be good enough. And I know as shit's going on, I'm like, I know I'm going to fuck up something. And my employer's going to consider this some major hit to their profit margins. And they're going to be like, oh no, now we're going to lose a bunch of business because you did this fuck up that kind of forced you into a corner on. It's like, you guys can see me wobbling sometimes. Like, I'm doing your job and I'm about to pass out half the time. I'm chugging energy drinks just to try to do the best job I can. So what do you expect? And I understand, okay, other people probably would be able to do a better job than me. I get it. I'm a fucking failure, and I am defective in every fucking way. Whether it's as a worker, or as a person, or as a human. Heck, even romantically, or emotionally, in any way. Whether somebody would want me as a boyfriend, or as a friend, or as somebody to do a job for them. I just can't do anything right. But I'm at least trying my best. I just know that no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to succeed. And no matter how hard I try, I am going to fail no matter what I do. No matter how hard I try, I'm going to fail. At everything. And yet, especially at work, I'm trying my absolute hardest no matter what. But I know no matter what, it's going to end poorly. and they're eventually just gonna fire me or something. At which point, like I said, I'm not gonna be mad or angry at people. I'm just gonna like give them a thumbs up, peace signs, like yeah, cool, peace out, guys, later, bye, whatever. After that, I'll try to find something else to pay the bills. Though more than likely, I'd probably do a longer commute and get less pay, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a circumstance I have no control or power over. All I can do is just do my best and hope for the best, even though I know there's no fucking hope of anything working out right. And yet, even though I know that, I still keep trying. A lot of times I'll be a bit flirty with people online, but I have no intention of actually ever meeting anybody online. Hell, I've even made myself clear on that. I'm like, hey, yeah, just... because that's kind of weird to try to want to meet internet people. Just because... I don't know. Even from my end, as the person with severe depression, that still seems kind of creepy. Let alone if I'm like, I'll make jokes about, oh yeah, guys ever watch like Shy Lily or Tricky V or Buff Pup or Zentrea? Sometimes I worry I like give off a fucking creepy vibe to them. It's like the fucking Perfect Blue movie or Paprika, where like the creepy stalker guy winds up scaring people or being violent or some shit. I'm like, I don't want to make people uncomfortable. Though I think they are probably no stranger to just people like, hey, there's a bunch of random people that think sexual thoughts about your models. But on a more wholesome note, I think slightly better. Migraine slightly better. I don't know. But nope, no it's not. Fuck. More wholesome note. All four of those people are very hilarious to listen to. It's just... yes, I enjoy Let's Plays, I enjoy watching VTubers, I enjoy playing video games, both on console and on computer. Heck, there are games I play on computer that I don't Let's Play. Mostly hentai games, because I can't do those for Let's Plays, because YouTube would not be okay with that. Plus, it would just be kind of... I mean, I do know I'm saying I'm the most cringiest person on the internet. Did I even do my intro? I think I did. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm not bothering to do it again. But even I'm not like... I don't... Even if YouTube said, yeah, it's cool, fine. You know, play whatever hentai games you want. Don't bother editing or censoring anything. We're cool with it. Even if YouTube told me that, I'm like, I don't know if I would do it even then. Like, even if there was a site out there that was like, hey, we're cool with you doing Let's Plays of hentai games. On the one hand, I'm tempted to. On the other hand, I'm like, I don't think I feel comfortable with that. As much as I'll talk about lewd stuff online, I don't, want to actually be, in that much of a horny state of mind. And on a video, I feel like that would be a bit... I don't know, embarrassing? No, not that. Like, too much? And I don't mean, like, too much, like, oh no, I'm overwhelming people, because honestly, I'm just a waterfall of bullshit, so there is no point in which any of these videos, I'm not just overwhelming everyone by being the most boring and most annoying person on the internet. It's more so just overwhelming for me, that... Hell, I think the biggest obstacle I'd ever have if I ever even made a fucking VTuber model is that I would probably still just do it as recorded videos. Because if I ever actually did have a fucking audience in chat, I think I would feel too... I don't know, nervous? Anxious about it? Everyone's like, you made close to 3,000 videos. How do you still have stage fright? I don't know. I'm a naturally shy and bashful person. But hey. it is nice to be able to watch various Let's Plays and VTubers online, and I enjoy making these videos. I've said it many times. I have an obsessive and addictive personality. I don't do these videos to ever make any money. I do them because I have a compulsion to do so. It's kind of like reading. You put a book in front of me, I'm going to have to read it. The only thing that'll stop me is if you put another book in front of me, or something else. And I still say I don't have ADHD or autism or any of that stuff. I just get distracted, okay? You know, I just procrastinate, that's all that is. But, says the person who's like probably spent at least 5 minutes. We're at least 5 minutes into the video, which we have not played any gameplay. You know, there are a lot of people that just like, oh, they'll do a live stream of video, and the first hour of their video will be like asking for donations and shit before they actually start playing, and even then, that's not bad. I'm not shaming them for that, because they're actually doing like interactions with the audience and stuff. Me, it's just like, hey, listen to Lunar D8, bitch, for like an hour. That's probably what closer we had. It's just, I don't know, I just feel like bitching today. Okay, I think the headache is starting to wear down a little bit, so that's good. We at least now know how long it takes Advil to work. 1 Lunar D8 bitch session later. That's how long it takes Advil to kick in. Just gonna slap that on the side. Fucking Advil liquid gels container saying, drug facts will work after the length of 1 average Lunar D8 bitch session. It's like, what's that? Oh, it's where Lunar D8 complains about stuff that doesn't fucking matter, because Lunar D8 doesn't fucking matter. So why would my thoughts or feelings matter, and why would anyone else out there actually give a shit? But main thing is this. I'm gonna keep trying to do my job, but it's just, I'm doing my best, but I expect it to all go to shit. In the same regard, even if I lose my job, even if I need money, I'm not going to want to be monetized by YouTube. First off, I don't know why YouTube would ever want to fucking monetize me. Hell. I think I've said before, I promise nothing, I guarantee less. And the only thing consistent on my channel is a complete lack of any professionalism. I don't know why YouTube would ever want to fucking monetize my ass. And even then, even if YouTube wanted to monetize me, I'm gonna tell them no, I don't want it. Though more than likely if I have enough views on a video, they're gonna put ads there anyway. But at that point, that's fine. YouTube can take 100% of all the money they make off of whatever video I make. I don't want a cent of it. I don't want to make any money off of this. I don't knock anyone else for making money off YouTube videos. I think that's awesome. I think that's great for them. I want them to make money. Heck, there's like this bald British YouTuber dude who like, this one thing says 10,000 bits in the sky every time he gets like $100 or something. And I'm like, raise my fist and sound like, yeah, great for you. Like I'm cheering him on, like it's a fucking rock concert. But it's just like, I just want to bitch at my computer, or talk about random bullshit, or read stories, or read creepypastas, or read Warhammer books, or read random poetry, or do terrible karaoke that maybe one day I'll do better at. Or we can get a little cross-section of my gradual improvement of learning the German language and the Japanese language if I ever fucking get around to it. As well as play video games, because I enjoy playing video games. So I also share a bunch of videos from other parts of YouTube, because I'm like, hey guys, this is a video I like, or this is how I currently feel emotionally, and this is my way of sharing how I feel. Because, like I said, I'm fucking cringe. And cursed. I am the most fucked up evil person any of you will ever meet. For starters, I like Pepsi. Also, I'm bi. Also, I like bacon. Bacon is delicious. I don't know what we're talking about. I think I was talking about my electrostatic job I had, like, apparently I had my current job for like 6 or 7 or 8 years at this point. I can't remember. Maybe longer, maybe less. I don't know. It's at least been 7 years, hasn't it? I don't know, I don't keep track of shit anymore. Like I said, there was that warehouse, grocery store thing that was in a freezer half the time. Where I was also loading trucks on the side. Where it was like, that was like 3 years. Before that, I spent a couple years electrostatic painting. It's this big that you had the basically parts would get hung on hooks. You had the S hooks, the little C hooks, the J hooks, the longer J hooks that got hooked to these 3-foot log hooks that were on a hook conveyor system that was like 12 feet in the sky. And you'd hook things to that, enter stuff in a computer, would go around and get blasted by a bunch of water, then some soap, then some more water, then some water that was treated with some chemical that I don't know what it was. But whatever it was some sort of liquid stuff that was extremely flammable, which then we had to go past fucking infrared fucking heaters. But it's like, oh, at that point it's not going to catch fire as long as there isn't a direct flame. And then we had old man Jim standing on a step stool with an air hose, blowing off excess water. Then it would go through the 3 painting booths. Because like I said, what it was, I was doing electrostatic painting. So what it is, you had this powder metal and powdered paint that had so much air being pumped into it that it became like a liquid. It was still a solid, it was still powder, but you would have to reach your arm into it down to your shoulder sometimes. And it was basically what you can imagine a quicksand would feel like, maybe, I don't know. But it was like, it was a solid, but it behaved like a liquid. Because, you know, all the air being pumped into it. And then it would get shot through the air gun that you had that was meant for electrostatic painting. And it would also add an electric charge to the powdered metal powder paint mixture that would get shot through it. Anyway, your first booth was the Ion Tech, which is river gray. It basically looked like the inside of an Oreo. And it had, I think, 10 static guns that were built into the sides that you could move back and forth, but they didn't move up and down. And of course, there was a window on the side where, and of course, yeah, sometimes you had to like go inside, but you would touch up everything. And of course, depending on what things were going on, you'd have to change the guns in the Gamma booth and the Ion Tech, because you had to control. You needed each gun to be shooting at a distance of 6 to 8 inches, including the one you did by hand. And even though you had all these guns built into these booths, you still had to do like 90% of the work by yourself, it seemed. Yes, I'm exaggerating. But I'm just saying, it was shitty and I hated it, and it was awful. But, anyway. So you had to move all this stuff, and you had to constantly be like going around. Of course, that place worked me even more hours than the current job, so I can't complain. It's just after that, they had the Gamma booth, which had 16. You had 2 rows of 4 on each side that moved up and down vertically. That, you know, so you had 16 standard gray guns. And of course, there were 2 hoppers on each side, plus a bit. There were about the size of a dog or something. And then you had a big ass hopper on the left hand side of the outside that had 16 pumps that you had to constantly unclog and fix. That was about the size of a car engine. I mean, it was at least like 3 feet tall and 3 feet across each way, a giant cylinder of just bullshit. And then on the inside you have these 2 giant ass, like, human-sized filters that had electricity being pumped into them to knock anything loose, so it sounded like thunder from time to time. And the hoppers down below where your stuff collected stuff, I mean, you could probably get a couple human bodies in there if you needed to. But you would have to go in there, try to shovel some stuff and fix it. All the time, you know, stuff's moving around, you're doing other tasks. And then, of course, you had the trash booth after that, which is where you did a lot of your extra touch-ups on the standard gray color. But there's also other colors like satin black, federal blue, safety orange and yellow, and sometimes you did extra bullshit colors that were just specialty jobs. Hell, sometimes there were like government things where like, hey, we need you to paint like fucking rims of a fucking car in the fucking thing. You know, that's not what we fucking do. And that's because, oh, that's extra money for the people and management. But of course, I'd have to do it on my break. So not only am I being forced to work on my fucking unpaid break to do this shit, but oh right, I don't get any of the money for it. Then of course, after it gets to the trash booth, it goes up a little slope, because it's like a second story giant gas oven. So imagine just a giant gas flame oven that's the size of, like, I don't know, the clothing area of a Walmart. Like, imagine the section of a Walmart where you sell clothing. Now imagine all of that's just a flame-powered gas oven that's about a second story in the sky. Which, of course, you can't go in there yourself physically while it's running, or else, you die. But after it goes through all that, then it goes through a long thing above, and comes back down. It's cooled down by then, and it'll get unloaded and put in carts and tubs and trucks and shit. And but I'll say this: like, it was just, we didn't have proper ventilation in anything. I was wearing a fucking dust mask the whole fucking time. I went through like a dozen of those a day. The whole time I'd be working, I'd be vomiting out of my mouth and having to re-swallow my own vomit as I worked. And people are like, oh, you must have got a decent amount of money as a settlement or anything from this place. No, I have never received a cent from that place aside from my wages. So aside from money I got paid for my fucking wages of work, I have never received a fucking cent from that place. Not that it matters. 6 months after I quit, they went bankrupt. Because at the end of the day, not only was it fucking killing me, like, my health was completely collapsing. Though in general, I think my health is just going to give out anyway. Just because, well, I guess I'm past my expiration date. But they wanted to cut corners on a lot of things, that job. They wanted to save money because once a month you had to change the 3-foot long hooks because they would get too coated with paint and you couldn't hook anything. So, rather than once a month having to stop for an hour to re-switch it out for our second set, because what we do is we would have 2 sets, and once a month for an hour we would take off all the hooks and replace them with the second set. And then the set that had too much paint on it, we would send to another building to have them incinerated, to burn off all the paint, but the metal would remain. And then the next month we'd switch them back. Well, they decided that was a waste of time and they were losing profits. So they made all these little rubber umbrellas to hook on the hooks to try to protect them from the paint. But now, we had to hook these hooks onto the hooks of the other hooks onto various metal things that are sometimes sharp and sometimes heavy. So now you've created a safety issue and you've made our jobs harder. But even then, even getting past that, after it would go through all those water baths, some of these things would flip over, fill with water, and then when they go through the oven, the second story oven, they would dump the water, ruining the paint. So then guess who has to take a fucking sander, sand off the damage to the paint, and then wipe it with a wet cloth, and then clean it with a dry cloth, and then repaint it. And even then, a lot of times I was forced to do it during my fucking break at that place. The place was doing so much shit that was wrong. Hell, only place I've ever driven a fucking forklift. And there was times I was driving 12-foot long things of steel that were 3,000 fucking pounds. And I was having to drive with 20 feet in the air, having to make turns with it near people. And of course, then you have to lift it up super high, above 20 feet up. I don't know, because I can't measure that fucking distance up in the sky. All I know is this: if you're looking far enough up at something, there is such a thing as reverse vertigo, where like you know that feeling where you're at a high thing and you look down and you feel like the whole world is like spinning, and you feel like you're going to have a fucking heart attack from looking down. You can have that feeling looking up at stuff way up above you. But at the end of the day, you know what fucking screwed them up most? They had this massive fucking contract. It was going to pay $5 billion for the first year, and then it was going to be a repeating contract. $5 billion for the first year, $3 billion for each year after that. We have room for growth. But they wanted to save money. So what they did is they hired engineers who had zero experience and were still in college, because then they could pay them less than what was legally allowed. And everything was built according to those blueprints. And when it was all said and done, we had millions and millions of tons of steel that was built into machines that couldn't work. We basically built enough of a paperweight to crush an entire major city. Everything we built was useless when it got to the fucking final destination. At that point, you find out, hey, your business you're working for, it was already treating you like shit. Now there's no future for them at all. Then again, I suppose that could also apply to my current job in a way. But main point is that one job fucked up so badly by doing that. I quit. 6 months later, they were bankrupt. They sold everything to new management, new company, new everything, new name. I don't even think any of the old management or any of the old people are still there. Like I said, it fucked them up so badly. And like I said, my current job is nowhere near as bad as that. My current job is fucking heaven compared to that place. That being said, between the issues of the economy and the issues of just what we build, not even considering the issues with me, I think the economy is going to fucking tank, and particularly the part of the economy that's focused on what I currently do. Even if it doesn't, I don't think my current employer has a future. I think they're going to wind up, granted, at least not as badly as that other electrostatic place, but again, at least this current job doesn't work me as nearly as many hours. The working conditions are much better, the pay is better, and in general, the job isn't as hard. That being said, I do feel like I'm being pushed too hard. I do feel like I'm being worked too much. I do feel like, and it's just like I'm working as hard as I can. I'm working as fast as I can. I'm doing the best job I can. And yet I have no confidence that I'm going to be able to do a good job long term or even do well enough. Like, I feel like at any point I'm just going to like go into work and they're like, hey, guess what? We got the report back from the customer. You sent thousands of terrible machines. They're all wrong and you fucked up on this one thing. Okay, cool. I'm fired. Whatever. Because at that point, like, obviously, does it suck? Yes. I mean, I do rely on the money from the job. It pays my bills. It pays for the internet. It pays for the video games. It pays, for my medical insurance and the various medicines I get from the pharmacy. I mean, doctor already has me on a few prescriptions, to try to improve my health. Though a lot of times I feel like I'm just a fucking lost cause. I mean, heck, when it comes to anything, what real value am I to really the society? At the end of the day, one less worker, what's it mean to anybody, right? Just a fucking number in a machine. By the end of the day, I go into work and I do what I can because it pays my rent. It pays my bills. Like I said, even if that shit goes to shit, well, I'm not gonna make money off YouTube, even if YouTube wanted to monetize, which I said, one, why the fuck would they? But two, I don't want to, even if they wanted to monetize me. No, I'm not getting monetized on the internet anyway. I'm not making any money off of Lunar D8. I'm never having super chats or Patreons or sponsors or any of that shit. And again, I don't judge other people for doing that. I think that's awesome for other people. That's just not for me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to ever feel like, I need to do this one kind of video and have this many clicks and shit because I needed to pay my electric bill or pay a doctor's visit or, for me to get prescription medicine. I don't want to ever feel like that, my videos, carry that. I mean, I don't want it to feel like that kind of fucking pressure shit. Even if it could actually be profitable, I don't care. I don't want it to be about that. After all, we all have our own things that we have to fucking do. Hell, I wouldn't want you guys donating to me if you ever wanted to. If there was ever even an option. Because at the end of the day, you guys have bills too. You guys have rent. You guys need to... Like, it's much better you guys actually go out and treat yourselves, go to like a Texas Roadhouse or an Outback Steakhouse and have a fucking, amazing dinner than give it to some random person on the internet. Hell, I've never actually given money to anyone on the internet myself. I have donated games. There are a few people that I've actually, bought games when they're on a heavy discount, like 80% off for them, just because I wanted the games to get out there. Because one, I wanted more people to play that game because I thought it was really cool, and two, I wanted to watch them play it. But even then, I've kept that to a minimum as well. I think over the course of my life, I've maybe spent $50 on that. Because a lot of times, like, for example, take the game Splasher. I played that both when I bought it for myself and when I bought it for somebody else. It was like, what, 90% off or something? Like, normal price of the game's like $15. I think I bought it for like $2. So if possible, I'm always trying to buy a game when it's on discount. That's the thing, I always consider any game you guys have for suggestions. Okay, I'm feeling better. Little bit soreness here and there, but let me try standing up for a second. Okay, I think I'm mostly better. Granted, my head feels heavy. Like there's a weight around it, but it doesn't hurt. So, kind of feels slightly dizzy when I stand, and my head kind of feels heavy. And a slight pressure on my face and my cheeks and stuff, and my cheekbones and eyes. All the places that were hurting. So, I think we're better now. All I need to do is some Advil and bitching. Seriously though, who the fuck would want to listen to me? Hey, it's a random loser guy who's basically forever alone. It's like, he's been alone for like years and years at this point. And he probably won't ever actually date again. But he does make flirty comments with people online on some sites because it's just fun. But in general, I'm kind of antisocial. Heck, I played fucking VR chat, my first instinct. Like, it was a giant-ass fucking building. The VR, it's an imaginary building. But VR chat, and you go in there, and it's like, oh, it's a nice, cozy place, and it really did look cozy. Everything looked really cool. Looked like a place I would want to visit IRL. Like, it was a, really cozy, giant skyscraper building. And then, through the windows, you can see a giant-ass fucking city, and it's raining. And it looks like a place I'd actually want to visit and just chill at some point myself, IRL, if such a place exists. But that being said, what was my first instinct? It wasn't, hey, I'm going to go talk to people. No, my first instinct is just stand by the window, or sit by the window, or whatever I was doing, I can't remember. And my first instinct is, I'm not talking to people. And it's not like it was a plan, it was just like, I go there, a place that you're supposed to go to talk to people, and my first instinct is, I'm just going to look out the window and watch the rain. It's an imaginary building. It's an imaginary city. Imaginary rain, and I'm just sitting there watching, the background because I'm, oh, cool. Granted, yes, I enjoy thunderstorms. I like listening to thunderstorms. I like watching thunderstorms. Now, granted, I don't like driving in a thunderstorm, nor do I like actually physically being out in the thunderstorm. But there are sometimes we have big thunderstorms here, and I like to just sit out on the porch drank some Pepsi or hot cocoa or something, and just watch the storm, watch the rain fucking pepper down like a fucking goddamn monsoon, watch the trees move back and forth, and be like, yep, if I stood 2 feet forward, I would be a fucking little wet kitty. But no, I'm gonna stand back here against my door, underneath my porch, and just enjoy. And also the air feels amazing for the thunderstorm. It feels great. It feels nice, the way the air feels, the way it looks, the way it sounds. I just enjoy it. I don't like being out in the third. I don't want to be soaked and drenched and sick. But it's nice just to stand there and watch and listen to it. It's relaxing. But yeah, it's like maybe a little bit antisocial. Okay? It's just nice to... It's an imaginary building. Imaginary rain. I'm just standing there just watching the rain. It doesn't even exist. I'm still enjoying it. Rather than actually talking to people. Then again, at that point, like, when we were talking to people, like, hey, what the fuck? It's like weird. What starts the conversation at that point? What do you fucking talk about? Shit. Drink some more of this water. Okay, so I'm feeling better. Like I said, if I stand up, I'll feel a tiny bit dizzy, and in general, my head feels heavy, but I feel better. Still should probably call up a doctor. Maybe I'll get like antibiotics or something. Maybe it's just like a sinus infection or something. But it felt like really shitty. And like I said, I am grateful for my job. It's just, it pays my bills. But I only do it because it pays me money. It's just, and it's not like I've ever been rich. Not like I ever will be. But, at least, as long as I can pay my rent, pay for the internet, pay to have some cool video games, because I like making random videos online. And I like playing some video games on console too. And going places, and of course, I like getting pizza and stuff, Yes, I'm fat, but at least I'm enjoying the process of being a fat ass. Yes, I know. And I do try to go to the gym, and I do try to work out, but again, a lot of days I have to skip days of gym just because I'm working so much work, and it's like my job needs me to do the stuff in a controlled manner very quickly, and if I lift too much, then I might not be able to actually do my job well enough. And even then, even with extra caution I'm doing with that, I still feel like I'm not going to, it's still going to be a fuck up in the long run. But at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan with it, there's nothing I can do about it. I expect everything to fail, but I'm still going to work, doing my best and trying my best, and I'm trying to do everything to the best of my ability. And if that's not enough, then there's nothing more I can do. I'm already doing my best. After that, I guess I'll just try to get a job somewhere else. Heck, I got a friend that does some job that helps people get prescription medication. Maybe I'll try to apply for that. Be a little bit more of a drive for me to get to that place. I haven't seen that friend in a couple years, but I at least texted them and brought up the idea to them. Because actually, I remember last time I saw him was a couple years ago or so. We were at a wedding. One of our mutual friends was getting married, and I just happened to see the one friend does the progression medicine job, and he brought it up. He actually was the one who brought it up first and said, hey, why don't you try to get a job at this one place? And I told him, okay, I'll keep it in mind. But for now, I'll just probably stay with my current job. And that's basically what I've been doing. But at this point, I feel like no matter how hard I work, or no matter how hard I try, shit is going to hit the fan with my job, one way or another. And whether it's going to be my fault, like I fuck up and it's my fault, and they just fire me, or my job itself, like I expect my business to fucking go ass up themselves. At which point, they don't need to fire me. They just haven't. Hell, this past year they didn't give anybody a raise. And the year before that, I got 0.5% of a raise. I got a raise of 0.5%. And that was 2 years ago. Like, this past summer, I didn't get any raise at all. I got a 0% raise. And the year before that, I got half of 1%. So not even a 1% raise. Half of that. And plus with inflation, that's kind of a concern. And even then, if I wind up getting another job, I'll probably be taking a pay cut. And also having to drive further, which gas is, I guess, not that expensive, but still. Everyone's like, oh, these are first world problems. I know. But I just want to be able to bitch about it. Okay? I just want to be able to bitch about things. Monday morning, I'll have to call that one doctor's office. I should still set up an appointment to make sure there's nothing going wrong with my fucking blood pressure or some shit. Because it's still a bit worrying that why words that are like 20 feet away are starting to become blurry. But again, yeah, the controller doesn't fucking work. Okay, Z, X, C, and V. Make sure the bottom area is there, which I don't know what the fuck that does. Like, seriously, what? Z is say no to spikes. X, I assume, I mean, they're all underneath boosters. But what, does Z make me immune to spikes? X makes me move faster. C makes me probably... What's that word? It's not translucent. The word that means that you phase through solid matter. I can't remember that word right now. Here you want to learn German and Japanese, and you can't remember the words of the English language. I swear as I'm getting older, I'm getting dumber. Then again... But basically we're going to go through walls. And V is... I don't know, is that a camera looking at me? Like it's going to make me invisible so like missile launchers and turrets don't shoot me? Are there missile launchers and turrets, or am I just thinking about like Super Meat Boy and shit? Space is jump. So I should like use my left hand over the ZXCV and space with my thumb. And then R is restart, which I'll reach with that index finger. And then my right hand would just be pushing left and right on the arrows. Okay. Let's figure this out. Run. Use corners for hiding. Okay, so they are cameras. Corners for hiding. So I have to blend into things. And it looks like I have 3 of each. So V would make this... So it's like Solid Snake meets Super Meat Boy. Is this a forever thing? Let's test. Okay, so I have a limited amount of time for invisibility. Ah! Lava? Oh god! You see nothing? Oh, this is red fucks. Let's test these things out. Oh god! I was expecting it. Because I played enough Sonic the Hedgehog. But... oh, if I die enough times, they just let me do do it with them, or did they fail to load the enemies? Either way, I'm cool with that. Ah! Dicks! Did I have a checkpoint? Yay! Oh god, he saw fucks. What? I'm invisible! Why am I back here? Why are they back? Okay. Alright, I accidentally pushed a button, I think. Okay, so V just kills them? Permanently? Is it all of them in the screen, or...? See... Oh, it renders me invisible for a time. It's excellent. Slow motion? Z turns off. Ground has... What? Why did you shoot a missile? Because who doesn't shoot missiles? I wasn't moving. What do you mean headshot? Okay. Does anyone want to see more of this? I'm just gonna call it a video. It's mainly just... It's an hour of me complaining. Later.